He's
How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the Aftercast. This is episode 46, the late night Transformers Hangout. I'm your host, Victory Saber 77, and we've got some good topics for tonight's show. So I have them in the description. So if you guys want to put your thoughts in the comments, and we can, if you get them in time, we can kind of look at the comments too while we're going here live. But for that, let's get into some introductions. Dalton, you want to start us off?
I'm Dalton. You can find me on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook at Daltonians DFs.
Cool. Any time frame on your show?
Still not sure yet. Still got to get computer things worked out, so I'll get on that.
Cool. All right. Josh?
you can find me G1 Hextron on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and my Facebook page is the G1 Hextron.
And I am Victory Saber 77, and you can find me Twitter and YouTube. And we also have a couple of other shows. We have the Cybercast, which was prior to this show. Definitely go check that out. It's on G1 Hextron's channel. It airs every Saturday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we had Pete Sinclair on this week's Cybercast, and it was really good, so I definitely go check that out. We do have an eBay show, which airs once a month on G1 Hextron's channel on Thursday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Not sure when the next one's going to air, but we'll let you know when that happens.
The latest one is up there. We did it last week, or this week. So
yes. And potentially the next show we might be building a Triptychon, just because. Is it worth building one, or is it worth getting the Encore or the Platinum Edition, whichever moniker that's going under? But we know we're getting a reissued Triptychon. So, all right. Before we get into the topics, any hauls?
Dalton, you always like to go first, so I don't know why you trying to be polite now. So.
The only thing I got this week is Powerglide.
Awesome.
I need that.
I do too.
It's a great little figure.
I'm so far behind you guys, and you're not even a Chug collector, Josh. I'm like
no.
behind you. I'm trying to find stuff in the stores.
Oh, I will show you something after. I've got pictures in combined form, but I can't put it out there on the internet yet. But from Bold Forms Lone Wolf, their Motormaster, I can confirm that it can use the Combined Wars limbs on its Motormaster. So if the only problem that you had with the Hasbro's Minosaur is the fact that you didn't get a Wild Rider, which you will be getting now that we do know, and you didn't like the way Motormaster transformed into the torso, this is going to be an awesome fix for you guys. So, especially if you're a fan of G1. So,
awesome.
I think it's awesome. So, I can show you guys off air, but they're actually sending a unpainted test shot or a review sample to me, and I'll be reviewing that and taking a ton of pictures for you guys. So,
sweet. It's gonna be good. Oh crap! Shut myself.
Well, as far as my holes, I got the new party wagon for the Ninja Turtles. Obviously, if you're a kid, you're gonna need an adult to help you out because it does not come pre-assembled. And I also got the Black Rodimus convoy. So
that thing looks good.
Yes. Does he have a mustache and beard? Or a goatee? Any facial?
He may on like a different face. I think you can like flip the faces out or something like that.
Awesome.
Because I remember on Hot Rod you can kind of give him a Rodimus face or a Hot Rod looking face.
Yeah.
So this probably has the same gimmick. I just opened it and the Cybercast was ready to start, so I haven't messed with them.
Cool. Anything else? Nothing? Any other Batman animated?
No, none of those things.
Up? Any more broken Batman figures?
No, I don't think so.
All right.
So, I haven't broke anything this week, but then again, I haven't messed with this Rodimus yet. So.
Right on. For me, I got the Nemesis Prime, the Target exclusive, the big convoy looking thing. So. Really do like it because it comes with the Dead Matrix and all that. Just absolutely love the character.
But James, that's not G1 though.
I know it's not
What are you
G1, but
doing, James?
I
Come
know,
on.
but he's gonna go great on my Unicron shelf. As of right now, I'm really into collecting the heralds and minions of Unicron. So, um, yeah. And then I got the motivators that are G1 also, European exclusives that their arch nemesis is Overlord. All that. Unfortunately, they don't come with the combiner bits, but that's fine. I have Road Caesar, so I can just have them separate. But that's all I got. Let's see.
Do have a comment for you already here. This is by ETB Good. It says, as a very recent, I must stress, green Transformers collector, I really like the Transformers Prime mold for Optimus, and I am digging the new Combine Wars Optimus Prime. He's in front of me right now. You know, as far as the the Prime Optimus, I didn't really know how I felt about it at first, just because I always thought that the alt mode, as far as the Beast Hunters goes, looked like a garbage truck, and we always kind of joked around about it. But once that thing, you transformed it into its robot mode, that thing looks pretty sweet. And like we did see the one guy paying it up as Star Saber, which was pretty sweet looking at BotCon.
Yeah. Yeah, if I was going to get that mold over again, I would buy the Takara version.
Oh yeah.
But the first edition of Optimus Prime from Transformers Prime, fantastic. One of the best up there primes. Which I guess leads us into the first topic. Looking at top 3 molds for certain characters, and this week we're going to look at Optimus Prime and Megatron. What would be your top 3? You don't have to have them like in any like number 1 like all-time favorite, but just 3 that you would pick, whether you own them or not. We'll start off with Prime, and then we can just switch back and forth, I guess, if you want.
All right, well, I'm going to go with the MP10.
All right, yeah.
So I like that one. The MP1, I mean, kind of kicked it off. It had a lot more features and stuff like that, but, as far as cartoon accuracy and what we kind of saw on screen and aesthetic, definitely the MP10 is the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
You just want me to name one, or?
Yeah, we can just, Dalton, what do you got?
I don't have it, but yeah, I would say my number 1 would be MP10, and I'm thinking about actually picking that up, the Asian exclusive reissue.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm going to go with the same MP10 because I think it's the best rendition of the Generations 1 Optimus Prime, and fan favorite of that character and all that. How about Megatron?
Oh, now we're going Megatron?
We're going to go back and forth. Go back.
All right, well, I'm going to go with G1 Megatron. Obviously, it's G1, so I have, favoritism there. But it just... That gun is so cool, and it was so cool to have as a kid. The die cast, as far as him looking, I mean, it's G1, but as far as him looking accurate to what you saw on screen, I mean, it's not exactly there, but just it's a really cool Transformer to get, and it's memorable. As soon as someone walks in your house or sees your collection, they automatically know who that is.
Yeah, definitely. How about you, Dalton? What do you got?
If I had it, well, no, I wouldn't. If I could go third party, I would say Tour World's Hegemon, but I'm going to have to go with official and say out of the ones I do have, it'd be the United Megatron.
Well, you don't have to have it, I mean. But, yeah, definitely.
So he just named 2. You're
Well,
cheating already, Dalton.
I didn't go with the third party, so that's not really cheating.
Yeah, we'll just try to keep it official. I mean,
oh, we are?
Yeah, just across the board. But for me, I'm going to go with animated. I really like that mold. I like the alt mode being the helicopter, the swords, and everything about it, and just really looks exactly what you see on screen. And I think it's a really good version of Megatron.
I haven't even thought about that. Wow. Losing it.
All right, Optimus Prime again. I'm going to go with G1. I think that is the definitive figure of whenever you think Transformers, the first thing that pops in your head is, especially G1 Transformers, you automatically think Optimus Prime. I mean, you got what you could, kind of consider a play set. There were a lot of stickers involved. If you're a kid, you definitely had to have some help. Just he actually had quite a bit of articulation, if you think about it, because his shoulders could move back and forth. They could rotate. His elbow that could rotate. I could also move up and down. His fists could rotate. He could bend at the knees. So he had some pretty good articulation for a G1 figure, and it came with a roller and all these little extra accessories. So it was a fun figure to have, and I just think that him and MP10. It's really hard to say which one would be number one, but we're not going in order. So he's in the top 3.
How are you, Dalton?
For me, I'd have to say the Cybertron Prime. That was just an amazing, huge Optimus Prime figure.
Yeah. Well, that's my answer too. A Galaxy Force, Cybertron, Optimus Prime, removable Matrix. I like the armor, the wings and everything. Just really fantastic. Flying fire truck mode, yeah, but the rest of it was really great. And obviously, if you got the other, characters, you could actually, use them as power-ups and extra armor and weapons, stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. How's it going, Trent?
Oh, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
Pretty good.
Good.
Sorry I'm late.
Oh, no problem. We're just kind of going over our top 3 molds for Optimus Prime and Megatron. So
top 3 molds for Optimus Prime and Megatron. Okay. Does it matter if you actually have them or not?
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay, for Optimus, and this is in no certain order. First one I can think of is the Robots in the Sky / Car Robots Fire Convoy.
Yeah.
The second one, let's see. The second one, and I think this is my number one, and I'm just going to say him because he came right off the top of my head, would be the Henkei Convoy, or the Japanese Classics Optimus Prime. And the third one would probably be I want to say Orion, but that would be kind of a cop-out. So I'm going to say I kind of like the G2 Hero Optimus, the one that Black Convoy is made from.
Oh, you're talking about the Ultimate Gift Set one. Or are you talking the actual
laser? You're talking the laser Optimus Prime G2?
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn it, you took all the ones off.
And for Megatron, I'm going to have to say the United Classics Megatron. That one. The second one is probably going to be, let's see. I'm trying to think of another one before I can say my top one. And it has to be Megatron, right? It can't be somebody like Gigatron.
If it was portrayed as Megatron here in the States, sure, go for it. So you're looking at like Car Robots, Gigatron?
No, I'm not gonna say him. I think that Transform. No. The one that I had from Animated, the big leader class, Shadow Strike Megatron, the one that turned into the big black helicopter. Yeah, him. And the number one, I don't have this figure, but I have to say Hegemon.
All right, back to you, Josh. I think we're on our last Prime.
We are.
Yeah.
Man, since Jinrai is not actually Optimus Prime. I'm gonna go with animated Optimus Prime. I love the animated stuff, and looks like it jumped right out of the cartoon, and it's so cool looking. So
I need to get that mold.
Yeah, the Voyager class.
yes,
Or do you want that huge Supreme
The
class?
Supreme class just.
I only have the Voyager class, so I really can't speak on the Supreme. So
And then there's the deluxe size.
The 2 deluxe size.
Yeah.
The Cybertronian and then the Earth form.
How about you, Dalton?
I do like the idea of the Henkei convoy, but I'm gonna have to go with the Evolutions 2-pack of that classics mold.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, it best represented the G1 toy, even though I would like to have a complete G1 Prime.
I'm going to go with something different. I mean, you guys have taken a lot of answers that I wanted to, so I'm going to go with something different. I'm going to go with War for Cybertron Optimus. I really like that.
Yeah.
The United one. That's really nice. Looks fantastic. And represents what you see on screen, and yeah, I like it a lot. And Trent's excited. He didn't like it. And lastly, let's finish off with Megatron.
well, we have to do 2 for Megatron, right? Because we only got 1 out there so far.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because Trent's came on and then he messed up the rotation.
Okay, so do 2.
We'll go ahead and name the 2. I'm gonna go with G2 Megatron. Yeah, I think that's pretty nice, and obviously inspired. Him being a tank and that being accepted. If he wouldn't have been as good as he is, then who knows what Megatron would have been now? Because now you start seeing him, and whether it's War for Cybertron or all these other things, as he's accepted as being represented as a tank because of G2 Megatron. So that being said, I guess it was kind of a toss-up between the War for Cybertron, Megatron, which I think the bot mode looks cool. The alt mode, I mean, it's all right. But I'll probably go with the leader class animated Megatron. As a helicopter, I think that's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
you get all those electronics and stuff too. So.
Yep. Dalton.
Yeah, I've got to say it too. The animated leader class Megatron. I've got the Shadow Blade Megatron. Absolutely love it. Another one would have to be. I would have to hand it to the War for Cybertron because that thing just looks awesome. I've got the molded in Decepticon symbol on the back, the jetpack, fusion cannon.
Mm-hmm.
Really represented the in-game model as best as it could for the size, but
yeah, it did. Let's see. For me, I'm gonna go with. Josh isn't here, so he's not gonna hold it against me. But I'm gonna go with Beast Wars Metals Megatron, not Hasbro. Metals, because he's not plagued with the gold plastic or brown plastic, whatever the heck he's plagued with. But I really like that figure. I mean, besides the character, I love the fact that you can have him with the roller skates like you see on screen, and he has the the VTOL blades there, propeller, so he can fly in his dinosaur mode. Everything about it is just fantastic. I really like that mold. And then the next one, I'm going to go with Energon Megatron. I like that huge plane he turns into. And then it was redone for Galvatron, and then we got Galvatron General, which was in the Voyager class size. But I really like that Ultra class, Leader class, whatever size that was. I think it was really nice. And he actually homages to the G2 having the tank and all that type of stuff, also for his cannon.
and all
I thought
that.
that was pretty cool.
His remnants of his Armada form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would totally love to pick Cybertron Galvatron, since he looks like Megatron. It would be such a awesome, but it's not Megatron, it's Galvatron. So, but yeah, I'm going with Energon, Megatron, and Beast Wars medals of Megatron. So, all right, this should be good.
None of us mentioned Armada Megatron. For good reasons, too.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. We didn't mention any Bayformers either.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. Even though I do like the Revenge of the Fallen leader class Optimus Prime for what it's worth, even more so the Buster Optimus Prime. But here's a good one: best and worst human characters in a Transformers series. What do you guys think?
What worst character? Wheelie.
Human.
Human.
Oh, human. Oh,
Best
sorry.
and worst human character.
I still want to name Willie. He's just so awful. But
just name Daniel. You know it.
well, he becomes friends with Six Shot. My favorite character though, like I said on Cybercast is Chip. And even going back to an episode that he kind of saves the day, whenever is it I forget if I think it's season 2, but it's like a 3-part series, and they get Burger, which I guess is like some kind of like politician or something like that, and the humans actually turn against the Autobots and are sending them to the sun, and then the Decepticons, they enslave all all the humans and make them work for them. Well, basically Spike distracts, I forget who it was, Scott Whipper, Thundercracker, one of those idiots, but and Chip takes off, and he makes it all the way back to Teletran 1 and is able to try to get in contact with them and tell them to come back before Thrust comes in and kidnaps them. So if it wasn't for that, Optimus was ready to just let all the Autobots travel into the sun. Why they wouldn't just find a different planet or go back to Cybertron, who knows? But
I think they were supposed to. They got
they tampered with it. So Chip was able to fix that, right? He was able to help them. Like he found out they were going to the sun.
Yeah, overrid Cosmos's something navigation, so Cosmos was able to take control of himself again and steer them clear.
So I don't for some reason there's any other human character that you can say that dude, they saved basically all the Autobots, and the world would be done, by the Decepticons. So Chip, and also the fact that it's a guy in a wheelchair. He's got a handicap, and I think that's I'm glad that Hasbro took that step, and it's kind of ballsy to put a character like that in there, because it's kind of uncommon, and make him a hero. So I think that's something that if someone that does have a disability, then they can look at that and be that's awesome. I like Chip.
Yeah.
To where every other cartoon is just like everyone is perfect.
Yeah. Totally. I would go with Jinrai. That's my best human character.
I didn't know we were going Japanese, man. Jesus.
No, it's Transformers series, man. Everything counts.
All that said, Chip's my second then. I love Jinrai.
Yeah, Jinrai is the best as far as seeing the leadership quality come about and just having him just go through the emotions and being able to overcome those and becoming this just great leader for the Cybertrons or Autobots. But for the rest of you guys, who is your favorite or best human character? Dalton, or you can say Carly. Marissa Fairborn.
I honestly don't know.
Miko?
No. I kind of have to go with either Chip Chase or
Don't chip too?
I'm telling you, I'm getting people on the chip. I'm trying to sell those, Pete.
Good one, Josh.
You,
Yeah,
Trent?
I'm just gonna go ahead. Go ahead.
I would. It's a tie for me. It's either between yes, Marissa Fairborn or Spike in Rebirth when he becomes the headmaster of Cerebros.
Okay.
Oh,
Right.
now
Yeah.
we're down to an episode. All right. Not all the other spikes, but that one.
I thought
Yeah,
someone
just
would have.
season 3 Spike. Season 3 Spike.
Okay. I thought one of you guys would have said Pierre de Carlo from the Wreckers.
I haven't read IDW, so
I don't care about records.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
Um.
All right.
So now worse.
Worst. Who would be the
Okay, the dude that like was always Connie. This is why I can't say Marissa Fairborn is one of my favorites, just because she kept on falling for the
Yeah.
charm of the one guy that was just like all through the episodes like screwing her over. Then he would just be like, "Hey, baby, you know it's all right," and she's like, "All right, you know, I'll give you like a 23rd chance," and then he like screws her over again. And then he's like, "Hey, you know, hey, I've got this charm. You know, look at my mustache." And it's like, "All right, you know." And it just keeps on happening over and over again. I was just like, this is more of a love story. This could have been a cool episode, but it's just a love story. And you throw in some Cherrycons and, you know, Technobots in the episode.
Yeah, I remember that. That was interesting, to say the least. Guy's name was Dirk Manus.
Yeah.
Had that charming '80s mustache.
Yeah.
You know.
He was pretty much a Han Solo knockoff.
Yeah. So all right, Dalton, who's your worst?
it's a tie
Is it
either Miko or Sam.
Sam, yes.
The parents in the Bayformer
Oh
film.
God.
Anyone in the Bayformer film.
Anyone in the Bayformers fans,
Okay,
yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Have to go to Miko. Just kind of annoying and
Yeah.
just getting away all the time.
Yeah. Man, it's a toss-up. I mean,
God, there's so many bad ones.
Yeah, you know, G1, I really don't have any fault for, you know, those characters, but yeah, I mean, where do I start? I'm not a fan of Jack, Transformers Prime. I think there is too much, like, they put too much on him. I love Agent Fowler, but the rest of them, though, are just, I don't know, annoying. So I'm going to go with Jack.
I think Jack really wanted to date RC. Like,
Yeah.
it was just a strange relationship that was a little bit stronger than, you know, you're my robot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's like the human characters in Prime just, even in the Unicron trilogy, just really were, I didn't want them there, but like, you watch animated, I like the human characters in animated because they all made sense. They all were great. But yeah, I'm going with Jack. But who are you going with, Trent?
Miko.
Nico.
Oh, but didn't she redeem herself when she got her armor suit and stuff?
She's still
Like,
annoying.
Kinda, yeah.
She
She's
wasn't
still
annoying.
annoying.
She was still
in a
annoying,
can.
but yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's no. Yeah, everything about, man, now I'm like just on a hate for Transformers Prime. Even Jack's mom was just annoying. All of them.
I kind of like Jack's mom.
She got just overly just. Oh, I mean, I like the episode where he, Agent Fowler and his mom's kind of like going on that, not a date, but going to get that relic and stuff like that, and they get kidnapped by Knockout.
Agent Fowler's mind, it was a date.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and all that, but yeah.
Because I remember he was like totally like trying to smooth talk Jack's mom.
So
Yeah.
All right, moving on. I mean, we always have human characters in, the Transformers. Sometimes they're good. Sometimes they actually play a part. Sometimes it's all about them in the story, like Master Force. And then sometimes they're just there to draw kids in more. I don't know. I mean, I like the
Pretty
Rescue
much.
Bot kids more than I like the Transformers Prime kids. But moving on to the next topic, I think Josh brought this to my attention. Want to talk about our thoughts on why GI Joe isn't a powerhouse anymore as far as like toys. Let's put it that way. Um,
Do you have who asked that?
no, I don't.
Let's see. I think it was Rudy, and I'm not gonna try to pronounce your last name, man. I'm sorry, I'll butcher it, but yeah, it was Rudy.
Okay. Well, it was a great question, and we'll throw in our 2 cents. And we're not going to just say because they suck, but it's difficult. I mean, like GI Joe's always been around for a long time. I mean, it's been reinvented several times. We usually
Yeah.
see some type of toy out there, whether it was Sigma 6, whether it was just Real American Hero reissues, the 25th anniversary line, or Toys R Us now has their 30th anniversary line or whatever it is. And some of it's been good, some of it's just been crap. Valor versus Venom or whatever it was called wasn't the greatest in the world.
Yeah.
The movie stuff wasn't the greatest in the world either. But I don't know. I mean, there's lots of factors. I mean, what do you guys think? Why just lost that luster, that edge?
And then
Or,
I think some of the fault lies at Hasbro because I've heard stories about where some people have said that they didn't support it as much, and then there's one person I've heard claim that there was someone in like the upper heads of Hasbro that kind of felt that it wasn't profitable anymore and wanted to get rid of it. If they would have gotten behind it, they could have made it viable.
Yeah.
well, here you have these figures that were back in the 80s. You could walk in to anywhere and pick up an action figure for like $3.
Yeah.
Vehicles were obviously more, but you had the cool box art and the cool card work. You had the cartoon to support it, which obviously helped out as well. There were just tons of them coming out, but they're no longer $3. They've increased quite a bit, over
Yeah.
300%, and especially whenever you start to throw in the vehicles, which makes GI Joe really cool. Those increased even more because there's a lot of plastic involved in the cost of plastic. So, I'm trying to think of a way to. G.I. Joe really had to have the vehicles. I'm trying to think of another thing, like Ninja Turtle figures. They're cool to collect on their own. You don't necessarily need the vehicles. They're cool to have, but man, you're pretty happy with just the figures. Same with it's kind of like Star Wars, but that's another 3 3/4 inch line. That figures, they're all right, but if you had the vehicles to play with, and interact with other kids and stuff like that, it makes it that much better. But the cost of plastic obviously increased a ton over time, and where the figures only increased a little over 300%, the vehicles increased a ton. I'll use, because you don't see very many G.I. Joes, the Millennium Falcon for Star Wars. What was that thing? $15, $20 back in the day, and now whenever they came out with it, it was $100. So it's increased by 500%, and that's
Yeah.
just way too much because you want to buy several of them, and it's just too expensive to do it. And
Yeah.
retailers aren't really wanting to, even if they did come out with a bunch of stuff, retailers aren't wanting to carry a bunch of it, just because of the fact that it's so big, it takes up so much space
Space.
as well.
Mhm.
So it would be hard to carry that way. Plus, I think they had something good going on whenever they were releasing that vintage style card artwork. with these, old vintage figures from, the 80s, a real American hero, and they had the new articulation and they look good, but then it's like, well, let's push those out because now we need to focus on the movies. This is a situation where I think the movies actually hurt G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
Nobody wants those figures. I mean, they're on sale now, and they went from whatever it was, $12.99 or something like that, down to, they're like, oh, now they're on sale for $9. I'm like, still, that's a 300% increase on what they used to be, and nothing else has like really increased that much. So it's huge.
It is, and it's just unfortunate that, I mean, you can look at it, it doesn't have the following as far as Star Wars is concerned. I mean, those vehicles are iconic. And you always think G.I. Joe, you want vehicles, and I mean, you look at the 25th anniversary line, when we got vehicles, they were exactly, in a way, carbon copies of what we got back in the 80s. They didn't even fit some of these newer characters, the newer molds that they created. They were more designed for that, smaller, because the newer ones are a tad bit bigger. But, I mean, like, Dalton, what do you think about, G.I. Joe? I mean, one, did you ever collect any of that, or,
I never collected any of it.
Okay, well, you're off the show. So, yeah, just
Before
back up and get out of here.
his time. So.
All right, well, that's episode 2 on your little show. Just, do G.I. Joe. You can even do the DIC version that came out later on, 90s.
And the other thing with me is I don't have a strong enough commitment from them. Like if I'm going to get into collecting something, and like I had a crap load of GI Joes and Cobra stuff when I was a kid, and then all that got lost. Now I would be starting completely over, but GI Joe is one of those things that there's so many characters that you want to get them all. Or it's one of those collections that there's a lot of people that just collect the action figures, but and multiples of them, but you kind of want to get them all. They're like Pokemon and stuff like that, but you could never get a commitment that like here they came out with a 2-pack recently. They come out with 2 3-packs and maybe like 4 or 5 5-pack or 2-packs, a couple of vehicles. But if that's all you're going to give me, then I don't want just some small shelf of these random G.I. Joes. That money could go elsewhere. But if you're like, hey, I'm going to commit, and we'll come out, if you guys will buy it, then we're coming out with all this stuff, and we see a bunch of it previewed. All right, let's get behind it. But you don't, so I don't think anyone wants just kind of a small little collection of them.
See, they did do that though. The 25th anniversary line, I have every single figure that was there and multiples of them, and they did. That's the one thing that I will always give props to Hasbro for, is the fact that, unlike Transformers, any other line, even Star Wars at times, you got almost every single G.I. Joe released in that series. Some of them were exclusives, which was unfortunate, like San Diego Comic-Con exclusives as like Jinx, Thorana, or Sergeant Slaughter, and then the rest of them that when the line pretty much tanked and they went with the movies, they became G.I. Joe Collectors Club. So Big Boa, some other the other ones became more exclusive to there, but you got a pretty decent amount. I mean, unlike when
I think
Hasbro
that's when
decided
it died, is after they stopped doing that, the 25th.
Oh yeah,
those are what I was talking about that were really good, and we would have liked to seen that.
There was so much more potential. I mean, when like they came out with Beachhead in the 25th anniversary line, and it was different. And it was like, okay, this is a newer version. He's got a flak jacket. That's pretty cool. But I know a lot of people were like, well, where's the one that looks like the vintage 80s? Well, they did that in a 2-pack with mainframe, or they called them data frame or something. So you got that version, which was really cool. You got the Crimson Guard twins, the commanders there in the 2-pack. They even did Build-A-Figs in the 2-packs in a way that if you got one of them that came with a Viper and a Crimson Guard. I thought that was pretty cool. And we got Matt Tracker. I mean, I thought there was really a lot of potential for that line to keep increasing, but then, like what you guys have already stated, the movie, I think, really tanked it. It's unfortunate because the reissues were such great packaging. You got that original card art, you got the file card on the back, you got the nice little like kind of pics of other characters that are going to be coming out or already out. Really gave you that nostalgic feel, but with a newer figure, with more posability and holstered weapons and removable ammo clips. All that type of stuff was really nice. They went the distance, but I don't think they marketed well. I mean, even the G.I. Joe Renegades cartoon or whatever it was called, in my opinion, sucked.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
it was
just
too
not
much like
good.
the 18.
Yeah, it's just. And then the movies, I know they're good action films, but creative licensing really took it to a different, way. I mean, I enjoy the Transformer movies, the Bayformer Transformer movies more than the G.I. Joe ones, but that's just me.
I mean, they're hard to watch. People want that 25th anniversary style look, but it was them like, okay, now we're getting these movie things, and that's what we want on your shelf is the movie stuff.
Yeah.
Well, nobody, G.I. Joe collectors, they watch the movie and they're like, this movie is awful. Like how it even got a second movie is like it's crazy.
Beyond me,
Even
yeah.
to understand that. But they were like, all right, we need all this movie G.I. Joe stuff, and that's what we want on the pegs, and so quit all the other stuff, and that's what you're getting. Well, now that stuff isn't selling because nobody wants it, and now Hasbro's, the store's selling it, and Hasbro's looking at, well, you're not selling G.I. Joe stuff. No,
Yeah.
we're not buying your movie G.I.
Buying
Joe
it,
stuff.
yeah.
We're not
Exactly,
buying
because
that
people
G.I.
like
Joe, but they look at it as people aren't buying G.I. Joes.
G.I. Joe. Yeah. Yeah, because I thought the whole Pursuit of Cobra line was pretty good.
That Cobra Commander is awesome. I don't know where
Yeah.
he's at, but
Oh, the later edition one, yeah, the Ultimate Edition of like Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow, and Cobra Commander that were released later on in the series are really good. But anything that's related to the movie is really bad. Except for I don't. It's okay, but the General Colton, that's
yeah,
played
Bruce
by
Willis.
Bruce Willis. I like that figure because that's my John McClane. He's jumping out of my tomahawk that I have displayed, that's hanging from my ceiling in my toy room, and that's yippee-ki-yay. That's awesome. But other than that, the rest of the figures are kind of like, I don't really care. And I've always like at times like, oh man, I wish that another movie would come out so we can get a toy line. Sometimes like with the Marvel movies and stuff, because I like what they come out with at times. G.I. Joe, I'm not really like, I don't want another movie. I don't want to see another bunch of crap that's going to come out, unless you're going to decide we're going to do the USS Flag, or we're going to do the Space Shuttle Defiant, we're going to do the Terradrome, something like grand scale. I don't care.
Well,
No.
also if they came out with something that was grand scale like that, let's say Terradrome first, and then they were like, all right, and then after that we'll come out with some figures. See, that would make me buy the figures then, because now I want to, now I at least, if I'm gonna have a smaller G.I. Joe collection, I at least have something grand,
Mm-hmm.
like let's say a Terradrome, and then that will sit on the floor somewhere, and that can be my display piece, and I can put the figures on it. If it's the flag, hey, buy a Tomahawk, buy a couple of jets, and buy a bunch of figures and fix that up. It's kind of like a diorama, and I can have my G.I. Joe diorama be
Mm-hmm.
represented. I think that would work.
Oh yeah. Well, let's flip it. What do you guys think as far as what really could Hasbro do to reinvent the G.I. Joe? Do you think going obviously maybe making a cartoon, maybe? Um, uh, God forbid, a better movie, maybe, I don't know, restart the whole franchise again with that, um, or continue what they're doing. Unfortunately, like what we see at Toys R Us, where we have just pretty much reissues of the 25th anniversary line, just repackaged. I mean,
I
what do you
think
guys
you're gonna
think?
have to do the 25th anniversary stuff and try to reach out to us older collectors, because back then, like we have wars going on now, but like you had, like was the Desert Storm, and yet you had all these wars, and G.I. Joe was like, hey, a lot of us, like, our fathers or whatever, overseas serving our country, and they're battling, these terrorists or whatever, we're kids, so that's basically what we thought of. And it wasn't so back in the 80s, it wasn't so, everyone needs to walk on eggshells, because if you said or did the wrong thing, then you're just going to get blasted, and there's like no internet there either. Where today, just even bringing up the word, like Cobra, hey mom, will you buy me these Cobras? Who are they? Well, they're terrorists.
Yeah,
Mom's
there's a new
probably
meaning.
not. Mom's probably not going to buy that. Um, Back in
Yeah.
the 80s, it was just like, look, they're the bad guys, they're the terrorists. Like, oh, okay, gotta have good guys fight bad guys. So okay. Today, I don't think that really works. And they even changed it from Real American Hero to, what was it? Just, I forgot what it was. They had changed it, and like whenever it was released in some other countries, like they took out the American Hero, or American out of it.
Hmm.
It's just GI Joe, a real hero or something. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
more
they even
PC
changed the
though.
song. They even changed the song whenever Cobra was changed and had his silver gear, and they changed the song to, it was like, got to fight Yo Joe or something like that, instead of the Real American Hero GI Joe was there. So they
Well, that
changed
was for
this.
a different series though.
Oh, it's a different story, but
The Dick.
they
Dick
took out
series.
the American
DIC
thing out of it.
series, yeah.
Yeah, got to get tough, Yo Joe, and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
that was it.
I
I
hated
remember that. I
that.
have that. I was like, oh man, it was just bad.
Yeah, I tried watching the episode when it finally like started showing on USA in my part of Mississippi. It actually didn't start coming on till like before till like somewhere between 90 and 92, I believe.
Yeah.
And I tried watching the episode when it came on that Sunday morning, but I remember the one that I tried watching was the one where Cobra challenged him to a football game. I'm like, really?
Yeah,
And
it
couldn't
was a
watch
lot
it,
of
man.
obscure things. I mean, they introduced, I think, in there like they're fighting drugs, chemicals, more environmentally, um, topics, stuff like that. But I
Hmm.
remember watching the first series just for the fact that we got to see Cobra Commander coming back and how he became human again. And then we got the whole
Yeah, I
Python
caught that.
Patrol and all that type of stuff. I thought that was interesting, at least as far as like, because we saw the movie and he's a snake now. And like, okay, what the hell, Where I used to be a man.
Yeah,
I used to be a man. Now
once
he
was
got
a
that.
man.
But yeah, and
And
then we got to see Storm
and they
Shadow finally
actually
become a
turned
good
him
guy.
human.
Yeah. But other than that, I mean, yeah, war is a little bit different now. The whole, you know, got to be politically correct and
If if
everything.
they do a
So,
cartoon, I wish they kind of follow the comics, like uh the one that Devils Do used to do, and
oh
especially
yeah,
like when it was like where like there was like you thought somebody was a bad guy, but you found out that they were doing things for reasons, and that Destro kind of had his own thing on the side,
yeah,
where he wasn't completely Cobra. He was more of a weapon supplier, and this possibility that GI Joe, some of the brass might have actually bought their equipment from Destro. There was a possibility of that. I thought that was kind of funny, by the way.
oh yeah,
And then you had like the twins like coming in with the suits and the legal red tape and paper trail and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, they could have like incorporated incorporated some of that into it. But I guess they don't want to make a series like too complex for little smaller kids. But I'm like, they kind of did back in the '80s because I remember when the Rise Serpentor Rise first came on. I was in the 6th grade. That's how I learned what DNA was, what it stood for.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We hadn't even learned that in class yet, and they came out and said deoxyribonucleic acid. I was like, huh.
We're going Dr.
And then when we
Mindbender now.
finally, yeah, and then when we finally got onto it in school, I was able to say the whole word just because I watched that show.
Oh, and you got history also in that episode with all the
Yeah,
leaders, Ivan the Terrible,
different
Genghis
conquerors.
Khan.
Mhm.
Yep. But oh, yeah, the Devil's Due would have been great. I mean, let's put it this way: the Marvel Comics, even back in the '80s, was
Yeah,
pretty dark. I mean, you look at the Saw Viper; he gunned down. We lost Doc, we lost Crazy Legs, we lost Quick Kick, we lost a lot of guys. And the nice thing about it
oh
is they
yeah,
actually incorporated that into the Devil's Due, or the one that maybe it wasn't Devil's Due just yet, but the one that came before that maybe, I don't know, but they
yeah.
incorporated that in there, and I remember that, and they're like, yeah, we remember that. That's the guy who mowed down a lot of these guys and killed them all, and it would be nice to have a better approach. Again, we've said it with Transformers. It would be kind of cool to actually see maybe a more one-shots of G.I. Joe in a video form. I mean, Resolute was good. I mean, who didn't like the whole Storm Shadow Snake Eyes, fight that they're going
Yeah.
back and forth and all that? I mean, it was pretty good. I mean, I don't care about the whole love triangle between Snake Eyes, Scarlet, Duke, and
And Duke, me neither.
who cares about that? But
Yeah.
I don't know. But
And
anything
then
else you guys?
they could have springboard.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just
No.
about to say they could have as far as movies, they could have springboard that from the first Transformers film. I mean, the military unit that was accompanying the Autobots, at least in like at the end of the first movie, and pretty much Nest. I
Hmm.
mean, if you look at Josh Duhamel and Tyrese Gibson and that squad that was with, I was sitting up there scratching my head, be like, why didn't they just call them Duke Stalker or Rock and Roll? Why didn't they just make them be G.I. Joe? And that they could have been dealing with like Cobra, like Cobra, who was being funded by Stisson Enterprises, was doing experiments with like Cybertronian technology that they were chasing around these organizations that had this like illegal weaponry that they were trying to use and sell on the black market.
Yeah, it would have been really cool. I mean, I don't know. Pete said something on the Cybercast that Hasbro doesn't like mixing G.I. Joe and Transformers together, which seems odd because of the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive stuff, and
We've seen
we
that.
saw it
Yeah,
with Transformers Prime too, when they're you know getting their Sky
Mask.
Strikers and we're gonna go.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's the other thing too. Mask could actually kind of maybe reinvent G.I. Joe in a way if they did it well enough. Um, they probably wouldn't be able to go that 3 3/4 inch scale anymore, but that could be a way maybe.
Well, yeah, because you go with like the 2-inch figures, and
Yeah,
you that obviously makes the vehicle smaller. So if you wanted to go with even more grand vehicles, you're going to keep costs down by
Hmm.
doing that with the figures, with the vehicles. It also takes up less room on shelves. And because of the popularity of Transformers, kids are automatically going to be a little bit intrigued just because of the fact that, well, it transforms. It doesn't turn into a robot, but it does transform.
form.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of playability with it, but
Yeah, there was a lot of playability with Mask. Man, I loved that truck. When I was a kid, I loved that truck Rhino.
mhm.
There was just so much that thing can do.
Uh, anything else you guys want to talk about G.I. Joe or move on to the next?
Dalton's ready for us to move on to something that he can talk about.
All right. The next topic is, I mean, it can be really quick. I mean, whatever. But is there a game, new or old, that you guys want to kind of play or been wanting to play but just haven't gotten the time or haven't gotten it yet or anything?
Oh, go ahead. For a new game, I'd say GTA 5. I've been wanting to play that forever. Still haven't gotten a chance to.
Cool.
For an old game, I kind of want to
New or
the
old?
We don't need your whole collection list here, Dalton.
But go ahead, give us your old game.
Probably Sonic or even Banjo-Kazooie or even Crash.
Or Conquer
How many are
Bad.
we naming here?
Larry
just-
Leisure?
One of those three.
One of those three. So I'm gonna say okay. So like Sonic, maybe Mario All Stars.
Well, do you want them
Mario
alphabetically? So first off, we'll go with Aladdin. So.
All right, those are cool.
You know, I've got this game, and I haven't put it in to play yet, but Link for Super NES, I remember that game being a little difficult and, you know, really working the mind, because you have to think, you have to remember stuff, and there's a lot of backtracking and stuff like that. It's a long game, but I want to play, need to play that. I've got it, I just haven't got a chance to. I've been
Cool.
playing Donkey Kong 3 or Dixie Kong. I'm on the final guy and almost beat him. I spent 3 hours trying to beat him, and I was so frustrated. So I quit.
Don't you love that, the old school games? I popped in Ninja Gaiden Trilogy on Super NES. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start playing some of these. Maybe I could rifle through 1 through 3. Hell no, that wasn't happening. I'm like, do they have strategy guides somewhere? It's like, what the hell? How bad is this guy gonna be? What's the? I need to jump over and do this. I was like, my fingers are starting to hurt.
Well, that's the thing is, like, kids today, they're playing Call of Duty and they're like, oh, this is a cheap death. I'm like, you have no idea what a cheap death
Cheap
is.
death is. Amen.
Okay.
All right, you play some of
Dude.
these things and you do everything right, and they're like on NES and Super NES games that you definitely like. And Donkey Kong, you're able to start select and like you get your one up, and Super Mario too. That's what I loved about Super Nintendo, start select, and you go pick up your one up. And you basically were just farming one ups. You get 100 lives. You'd go there, you'd have one left. You have to go back farming again, and it's all just to get past this one level, And you hadn't even got to the halfway checkpoint point, so it took you like 250 lives just to pass this one level, just to run into the next level, which is even harder, and more crap being thrown at you.
Yeah, cheap deaths. Yeah, kids nowadays don't understand. I mean, like, play Batman on the Nintendo. You get to leap from wall to wall and all this type of stuff, but sometimes there's a glitch in the game where you don't attach and you fall straight down. You're like, son of a, I got to do this all over again. Get power-ups, all this, and do it. Oh,
I
man.
got one for you. Remember some of the games where, like, when you finally make it to the final level, before you can go fight the big bad, you actually had to fight some of the bosses that you had fought before?
Yeah, Mega Man.
Twilight Princess.
Strider.
Gosh, that's a hard game.
What was
Man.
always hard to me was NES.
Bionic
Was
Commando.
Dino Ricky, or the one of the X-Men games. Like, me and my brother were talking about it before. It was an X-Men game on NES, and you look at the box, the one where you're looking down from an aerial view, and they're little bitty dudes. And we were like, I remember when we got that as kids, we were looking at the box and we were like, dude, X-Men, this is going to be so awesome. Because we had just got through playing the arcade X-Men games, which were awesome. This was not that game. And I remember that my favorite character was Wolverine, and then his was Cyclops. Well, Cyclops gets to shoot out this like little bitty burst thing. Him and Iceman, they get you have to get a shooting guy. But I had Wolverine, and he would just like, you would be getting hit, before you could get your first claw into the dude. And it was like instant death. Like Wolverine was the worst character to play
Yeah.
as. And
Yeah.
then that game is, you can't beat it without a Game Genie.
Yeah, that game was horrible.
The
I
one on
always be
Genesis
like
was
Nightcrawler.
bad too.
Yeah, I bet it was better. I mean, the first one on Genesis, yeah, it wasn't that great. I mean, especially when you got to Mojo's World where you have to push reset, and it's like you didn't know that, you're just dead, and you
Yeah.
run out of time, and you're like, what the hell's going on here? Um,
I never made it that far, really?
yeah. The second one though is great, and once
Oh yeah.
you beat Magneto, you got to be Magneto, and you got to
Even
fly, you got to have
Magneto.
shields, all that type of crap. It's great. Um,
Yeah, the
but
second one was great.
but the Super NES Marvel games were horrible. I didn't like Captain America and the Avengers, the
Talking about
Infinity
the one
Gems.
that's oh.
That was hard, or at least hard for me now. Spider-Man and the X-Men, the
I would say
arcade.
I've got a for Super NES. I've got a X-Men game, and then I also have that I'm struggling with, and then I also have a Spider-Man game. That it's basically you battle Venom and Carnage. Carnage is the last guy.
Oh, Maximum Carnage, yeah.
Well, no, it's something else. It's something Annex or something. I forget what it's called.
Oh, 'cause, yeah, I have the Spider-Man on the Genesis. Spider-Man and Venom taking on Maximum Carnage. Isn't too bad.
Yeah, this is a different game. So and it. Oh no. It might be the same. It might have been called something else. Who knows?
The
Remember the
Spider-Man
side?
game for Genesis was great. You got to take pictures, and that's how you got your web fluid to replenish. And you could take pictures of the boss characters, or you could take pictures of just stupid things like of the building. And I love that. And J. Jonah Jameson would, like give you a certain price for all of them. It's pretty cool. But getting back on topic, Prince, what would you like? What game out there, new or old, that you would love to play? Want to play?
Okay. For a new game that I would like to play, it's probably called Elite Dangerous. You can find videos of it on YouTube. I'm not sure if it's come out yet, but it's like a space sim.
Hmm.
Pretty much, and a game that an old game that I really would like to play, but it never, ever, ever came out. Right when it was finished, the company would kaput. Do you remember when the Nintendo 64 was coming out, and there was this big talk about a game called Robotech, The
Yeah.
Crystal Dreams? Yes, that's the thing. I've never played a good Macross game,
Oh, you
a
didn't like
good
the
Robotech
Robotech
game.
for Xbox? Or it
That
was on
one,
Xbox and PlayStation 2? Battlecry, I think it was called.
Battlecry. Oh, okay. That's the one where it had like the cell shade.
Yeah, you could change into the Veritech into
Okay.
each three modes, like at a drop of a hat.
That
It seemed like.
that one was okay, but it didn't. You was like in a confined area, and the one that they were planning for on the 64 was one where you was supposed to be, um, pretty much damn near unlimited. It was
Oh
an
well.
ambitious project. It was probably too ambitious for their technology at that time.
Mm, okay.
But a game that I do wish that they would do is that I wish they would take like Rogue Squadron, Rogue Leader,
Mhm.
and what's the name of the third Rogue Squadron game for GameCube? But anyway, yeah, what they would just take like the third Rogue Leader game and just get rid of the whole on foot missions and keep it where you're like in the spaceships. If they would take and make like a big mashup where like the Battle of Endor, where you finish getting rid of the AT walkers, and then you go straight into like escorting the transports off Hoth. That
Mm.
would be cool. I used to play the hell out of it. I loved that game.
Yeah, I have the first
I
two.
had gotten so good at it. I got so good and hardcore at it that when you go around the AT walkers, how the camera goes out and you show your ship. I
Mhm.
turned that off and I was doing the strictly cockpit view just for the hell of it.
Wow.
I probably can't even do that now.
Isn't that great? Um, for me, it would be. Gosh, I have several games I've never played. Uh, that one game. I don't know. I'd say something like Legend of Zelda, like on the Wii. I never played that, or yeah, I go with that.
Well,
I like all the
like
Zelda games. What?
there was like 2 or 3 of them for the Wii, wasn't
I
there?
think it was the first one, the one that you actually had to use the new controller.
Oh,
Or-
the Twilight Princess.
Oh, Skyward
No,
Sword.
yeah, Skyward Sword, that one. I have Twilight Princess on the GameCube,
Mm.
so I didn't buy it for the game.
That's
Or
the
for the
one
Wii
I
yet.
wanted to play. Thank you.
Which one?
It's Twilight Princess. The one, anything that resembles Ocarina of Time, I'm in.
Yeah, it's a good one. All right, moving on. I don't know. Do you guys want to build a team? We can do that later. I mean, that's going to be taking a while.
Yeah.
So we can move on to G1 character you guys would like to see in the Chug line. Next in the Chug line. Size does not matter.
G1 character next in the Chug.
That's a
Hmm.
good one.
I got one.
Abominus.
Oh, you're going with the combiner. All right.
Broadside.
Damn you! I was going to take the.
Oh yeah, he does need it, doesn't he?
Yeah, it is.
God.
Come someone. Um,
The Broadside's a good one.
Yeah,
He's the
broadside
one
is
that
really.
really needs it. And if he can get the treatment that you saw Whirl and Roadbuster, now Whirl and Roadbuster, they look better in G1, but Broadside, he needs some help. That's one of the worst looking Transformers in G1.
Yeah, and he's the smallest. Well, no, maybe not. I mean, Springer's pretty. I think maybe he's at least thinner than Springer.
Well,
Or something that turns into a jet that we saw that the Aerobots fly around in, and that we also saw that turns into an aircraft carrier that can carry all of the Autobots.
his
Yeah.
size changed so many different times. It was crazy.
And his head, his head's
Yeah.
going, what else can you do? Does he
Yeah,
have
did.
a mouth
That's
plate? Does he
crazy.
not have a mouth plate? And all that other kind of stuff. So
In the same episode too. I think the worst animated episode in G1 history is season 3, Carnage in C minor.
That'd be something
Agreed.
I'd do for a display though. Is if we do get a leader class or even bigger broadside, have my Titan class Devastator holding it.
Yeah, like he's like a little bitty, like, yeah, he lifted it up and then
Yeah.
it came down on him.
Crushed
Yeah.
yeah,
Man, that episode was so bad that Braun, that had died in the movie, appeared in there. You would see Devastator fully
Oh, boy.
combined. In the next screenshot, they would be unassembled. In the next screenshot, they'd be fully combined again. I think you had in the same picture, you had Defensor fully combined, standing next to
The hot spot.
the hotspot.
Yeah.
It's just like,
And then
what
Ultra
is
Magnus
going
with the 2.
on here?
I'm like, do y'all even care? I was a kid and noticed. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I'm like, did the animation studio just what was it? No F's given?
Yeah,
On that episode, yeah, because I mean, you even had like these people are going and crashing into the planet, and then all of a sudden, some of the like once they get there, some of those characters aren't on the planet, but ones that were never there are on that planet now, and it's
Yeah.
like, dude, this is all kinds of jacks that you can see. You can get the fail meter up to like 50 in the first like 3 minutes of watching that episode.
And here's my favorite one: the size scaling. Ultra Magnus picking up Constructicons like they're toys. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
what?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, what the hell?
Like, wow, they're actually in toy scale with each other, but that's not what we need to have in the show.
There's the
Wish
next
I was
one.
an adult back in the day, because probably could have got a decent job at Hasbro, or at least working for Sunbow doing the editing or something for that, because didn't really need a lot of experience.
And who knew that all
They
this
probably
time,
would have
like,
lied.
Perceptor could have took out Devastator in the '86 animated movie all this time, and probably turned the way that the movie would have came out. Um, you know, they could not destroy Devastator, but in this episode, he just takes his telescope and shoots it off, and Devastator comes into pieces, and
Oh yeah,
I don't even think you see him again.
that
I
would have
can't
been great.
remember.
They rewrite the '86 movie where when they're trying to push that slingshot gun around to hit Devastator, Perceptor just comes in. Move out of the way, guys. Let me just give my
Let me get my
shoulder cannon.
telescope here.
My
Yeah.
shoulder cannon. And I'll just shoot that guy. No problem.
Yeah.
We don't need Prime. We don't need the Dinobots. But
All
yeah.
4 of the Dinobots.
Yeah, all
I
4.
can
Even
think
though
of-
Snarl was there in some cameo shots, but just never. I guess they didn't want to pay him.
disappear.
Whatever.
And
Let's
then
see.
season 3, the Dinobots was always in dinosaur mode. I mean, especially like when they were dealing with the one where Cup was after this monster, yeah, and they were running away, and Grimlock was
Chaos.
just steady there in Chaos. Thank you. Yeah, and then Grimlock was just steady in T-Rex mode for some reason. I'm like, okay, what?
Well, he's always
Why
funnier and
haven't you?
cuter in his T-Rex mode, though.
It's like Beast Wars. They couldn't transform into the robot modes or their Energon, which seized up on them, and they had to be in their beast mode. I think that's where they got the
Grimlock
idea.
had
They're most powerful in his beast mode too. So
Yeah, Grimlock has just gotten silly now. And you can say what you will about Dreamwave, but I'm so glad they did what they did to Grimlock.
And it got quiet.
Oh, what?
Let's go back to okay. So we got Broadside, we got Abominus. Who would you want to see, Trent? G1
Trigger Happy and
character.
Slug Slinger.
Okay, you went with 2. Nice. More Target Masters would be nice. And more Headmasters.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of them you can name.
For me, oh man, I go with Skylinks, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There hasn't really been an incarnation of Skylinks, as far as I know, besides G1. I was going to think about like Omega Supreme, but we got the Energon, and we've, even Planet X, and such. But yeah, I think number 1 would be Broadside. I think that they need to finish the Triple Changers. He's the only one left. They've done everyone else, so
Yeah.
it's like,
Okay.
yeah.
And the new, but in the new style of
Yeah, oh yeah, if they could redo them like in Voyager class and make them look better, yeah, sure, I would
Yeah.
do that. Astro Train
So-
would be nice.
I want to see all of them done in like this new style of, hey, we're trying to do things better now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And lastly, best BotCon figure to date, since we talked to Pete Sinclair today, and just end it with the whole BotCon type of theme, I guess. So
Breakdown.
whether you have it or not, whatever. What's your favorite?
94 breakdown robot.
Breakdown robot.
G1 mold.
Dull.
I could even go with the animated box set that he was talking about, 2009. Those
2011.
ones. Or is it 2011?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are pretty awesome.
I'd have to say. Dude, I had it, now it's gone.
You had it, but now it's gone.
Trent's.
I kind of would have liked to have gotten a whole runabout and run amok.
We're talking BotCon.
Those are Transformer Collectors
BotCon?
Pub. Yeah, they're still fun.
Oh.
They're still fun pub, but
Collectors Club, okay.
Out of the 20 years worth of BotCon, what do you think is the best mold figure to date, or even if it's just one that one that I want?
remember.
Wow. Because y'all gonna rag on me, but I really didn't keep track of the whole BotCon figures because it's like couldn't afford. Okay. Let's see. Probably. Um, was it the one where they repainted? I don't know. Did they the one where they did the Scourge mold in the Alpha Trion? Was that a BotCon figure?
Scourge mold into Alpha Trion.
Scourge mold as Alphatron.
They've only
Was it
done one Alpha Trion.
Yeah, it was Vector Sigma. Not Vector Sigma, Vector
Victor
Prime.
Prime?
Yeah,
Okay.
Vector Prime. Sorry.
Is that what you're talking
Let me
about?
see. Yeah. Well, I have to say probably say
Just
probably
looking.
when they did
Thrust from Games of Deception.
yeah, Thrust from Games of Deception.
Uh,
You're gonna make me Google BotCon figures now.
Alright.
But yeah, I'd probably say DevCon from that Scourge. No. Serp and Ore.
that's the Collectors Club.
Collectors Club.
Yeah, we're just gonna
We'll
stick
go
to
with DevCon. We'll go with
We're
DevCon,
gonna
'cause
stick with your
that's
DEFCON and we're moving on.
DevCon.
Alright,
Yes, because I
Alright.
can't front, man. I wanted some of the Collectors Club figures. I've seen some of the okay. Wow. Everything I named was Collectors Club. My apologies.
no, it's what you look like you want there, Collectors Club. You have an answer, Phil?
Yes. Alpha Trion from BotCon 2007.
All right. I thought you were gonna pick something from the Machine Wars.
No, that Alpha Trion
Or
is my holy grail.
For me, it's Death Source. I absolutely love the mold, the RID
Yeah.
Megatron mold. Just a fantastic. Even though it does have a retooled head, but I think it's a really nice updated version of Death Source or Dezaris, but call him Death Source now. And I just like his bio, and I like the whole thing about how he's just kind of like he's still a badass, but he's trying to create his own army or trying to to take out Megatron and all that. But so that would be my Death Source. All right, so that concludes our Aftercast. Unless you guys want to keep talking about other things, but we've been going on for about an hour and almost an hour and a half. So
We've been going for 3.5, so.
yeah, so we'll probably just end it there.
Wow.
We'll talk probably after this, but thanks for all the live viewers. Really do appreciate it. We'll probably tackle the one like build a team, that stuff. That probably would take too long, but we'll look at that next week or something. But if you guys have suggestions you guys want us to talk about, or kind of whatever Transformers related, or any type of other toy lines, just mention in the comments or tweet it out to us, whatever. But thanks again for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you guys want to outro yourselves, Dalton.
I'm Dalton. You can find me on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. I will have an update on when I will relaunch the first episode of my show. So.
All right. Awesome. Josh.
You can find me G1Xtron on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and my Facebook is the G1Xtron.
Trent.
Trents5 at Facebook and Trents5 at Twitter.
Awesome. And I'm Victory Saber 77. You can find me Twitter and YouTube. There's some other shows that we do have. We have the Cybercast, which airs every Saturday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on G1 Xtron's channel. And we also have the eBay show, which airs once a month on Thursdays at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, and we'll let you know when the next show will be. And we do have both those shows in video form on G1 Xtron's channel if you guys want to check it out. Pete Sinclair was on the Cybercast today, and really great. And, I mean, even though he doesn't want us to talk about it, there's some special reveals. You just have to kind of look at what's around Pete in the screen. So, again, thanks for watching. We will see you next week, and hopefully my Seahawks can bring home another trophy. So, see you later.